Welcome back to How to Art. This is Sherry Elliott Pope. Today we're going to be working on a landscape painting by Robert Henri, who lived from 1865 to 1929. He was an American realism painter and teacher at the Philadelphia School of Design for Women. You can see his beautiful painting here, and I am going to enjoy doing this painting as I admire his lovely work and try to do a version of that on my own. As you know, we can learn a great deal from studying great painters of the past. I have pre-primed the canvas with 2 coats of gesso and did an underpainting. And now I am loosely applying paint. We're going to have the light coming about the middle of the canvas, so that'll be where our lighter colors are. And we're going to have the darker colors toward the edges of the canvas. I have mixed together some dark pine greens, dark blue greens, dark yellow greens, dark blues, and blacks for this painting. And when we get to the lighter colors, we'll be using lighter yellow greens, lighter blue greens, and play around with those colors to create a light source and shadow areas. Just a few quick words about making the colors that you see here. If you add blue and yellow together, you're going to get green. By adjusting the amount of each, you can play around with that and get various shades of green. If you add red and blue together, you get violet color. So the same principle works there. As you adjust the red and the blue, you'll get different shades of violet. If you mix red and yellow together, you will get orange. And so adding more yellow will give you a lighter orange, and more red will give you a darker orange. If you add black to any of those colors, of course, it's going to make it darker. We're going to be painting sand in this painting, and the colors I used for the sand are burnt sienna, yellow ochre, cadmium red, titanium white. I have been using a filbert brush for the foliage here. It does really well for creating texture, the appearance of texture. This is an older filbert brush, so the bristles are frayed a bit, and it's just perfect for this. Adding some highlights here, some of the pastel yellow green. Let's add some pretty lighter blues. We also got to keep in mind where that light source is. It's toward the middle of our painting. This is a thick forest, so you're not going to see much light coming through that forest area of the picture. As I'm painting, I try to keep in mind where certain areas of the painting are. Right now I'm thinking about where the sand is located. So I'm going to be giving it a rough estimate as I paint where the sand is, but I will make adjustments as I do further work on the painting. As I did in the upper portion of the painting, I kept in mind where the lights and shadows are. I'm doing that for the bottom portion of the painting as well. In an effort to shorten these videos and be respectful of your time in that way, I have edited out redundant areas, and I have also speeded up the painting portion and added voiceovers. I used a flathead brush to paint the sand, and I'm also using the flathead for the trees. It helps you draw straight lines better, I think, so I prefer using a flathead for that. As we paint the trees, at least the trees in the foreground, we need to keep in mind where the light and shadow is on these trees. So I am going to be painting a dark color, dark blue, black on the back side of these trees, and in the front part of the trees we're going to make a stark difference with the lighter shades, as you will soon see. We also need to keep in mind that there's bark on the trees. So, you know, we are not looking at it with a magnifying glass to be able to see every line of bark on the tree, but we want to add a little texture to it to make it look more realistic. We can't forget the shadow area where we see the shadows of the tree on the sand. So I've mixed together ivory black, a little bit of white, a little bit of blue, and come up with shadow color. Also, I don't want to have sharp edges on my shadow. I've softened the edges on this by moving in some of that sand color to the edges of our shadow. We have a little bit of a higher area of sand and a lower area of sand. So to show that, we are going to add the lighter colors of sand at the higher edges, and the darker color sand at the lower elevation. I'm indicating some branches on our tree. And again, I am using the flat head for these branches. We're going to add the remaining tree shadows. I'm adding grasses or weeds in the painting now, but as you'll see shortly, I didn't like all of them and I painted over them. And that's nice about painting. If you make a mistake, you can easily paint over it. And a few finishing touches and we're done. If you have learned anything you didn't know, if you like these videos, I ask that you please hit the like and subscribe button so that I can continue to bring you great how to art videos.